You have raised over 2.5 billion in your life, wherein I actually see, and I think you have also seen this, that it's very difficult to raise capital in the world today. People are actually crying to raise even a crore to run their business or to pull something off with bigger dreams. And you have raised in scenarios when the market was completely slashed, when nothing was moving.
Cold called, written emails to every banker in this country. This is who we are. We would like to meet you. I would like to get my chairman to come and meet you and so on. And I've literally done that. And that's how I've kind of got my foot in the door with lots of people. As Rustomjee, we built a brand. As Rustomjee, we built the goodwill. And as Rustomjee, we built a product that people like. I think I've always had that chul in my life. कि भैया कुछ चल रहा है तो मतलब और जाके मतलब कुछ अपनी बैंड बजा के आओ. IKEA's there. We should do fully furnished homes. It's a great thing. Imagine IKEA fully furnished homes. So he's like, देख ये सब मेरे को नहीं समझता है. तेरे को समझता है जाके कर. I was like, चलो challenge. Let's get it done.
The first meeting of Credai that you entered, probably you would be the only women there. And back in the day, as I mentioned, no women wanted to be in real estate. And Credai is run by real estate guys at all times.
You're not there to take someone's limelight. You're not there to take someone's place. You're there to create your own. And if you don't have the guts to create your own, you're never going to get there.
Welcome back to Life Unscripted, where we explore the lives of great personalities, how they are what they are today, and how they have built their life one day at a time, doing what it takes and just focusing on their goals. So I have such a personality with me, a person who have always beaten the odds, a person who have entered room full of men, being the only women there, and sustained and grown and became an inspiration to many women around the globe. She is none other than Binitha Dalal, the founder of Mount K Capital, Spire Prop, and many more brands. She's coming up with tech products and she's also part of Rustomjee. So let's dig deeper. Thank you so much, Binitha, for doing this with me today.
My pleasure.
I understand that you are very busy and
No, I'm not.
and you just took time out for this.
I'm not.
So I'm just gonna start from the basics. You come from a legacy family into real estate.
Yeah.
And then you joined Rustomjee back in the day when you could have done anything that you wanted. So why was real estate something that excited you at that time?
Wow. Actually, I wanted to get into education. I finished college. I got into TCS for about 3 months because, TCS generally doesn't take undergrads. It's a norm. And I got into TCS as an undergrad. Me and one more person were picked up off campus, undergrad. And I really wanted to get a sense of what the real world is before I get into something else. And I wanted to get into education because I truly believe that if you want to change a country and you want to make a difference, you need to work at its base. And I genuinely think that our education system needs an extreme practicality aspect in it, which it still misses today. And I really wanted to work on that. So I kind of, in my absolute, I will say, naiveness and innocence, wrote to Brown University, the dean, saying that, we want to kind of do a university in India. We have about 100 acres of land. Would you be keen? So they also very innocently wrote back saying, what is it? We're happy to explore. So I was damn excited. I was like, yeah, listen, Brown wants to explore something with us. It's like a foot in the door, you can do something about it. So I went, and I told my dad. My dad then, spoke to Vaman Uncle and was like, she's got this. So Vaman Uncle was like, okay, there's a school, go speak to the dean. I went to the dean and the dean was also extremely like, if this is there, why don't we do something of our own? So he went out and built out the Rustomjee Business School. We did the first batch. I did kind of work to create that kind of institution with the first batch and everything with the dean. And eventually, I was told that, you can do philanthropy all your life. Please come and learn real business. And I was about 8 years old when, Rustomjee started. I still remember I was there at the Bhumi Pujan like a small kid. And then I'd consistently gone back with my father to kind of, see what is happening there, and when they were doing it. And I had always seen this hustle bustle on site and, seeing a building made and 19 months to our first building. And I used to love construction sites. And I've always had that, absolute mesmerizing effect when I'm on a construction site, and it still happens to me today. Like when I see a building being made, I can spend hours just staring at the process which is happening there, because it just makes me feel alive. And I was like, I was like, okay, we'll do education later. Let's get into understand this. And I started off, and I started when GFC happened. So I was like, totally not aware of what is happening in business per se. But then I also joined when the entire world crashed. And it was tough times. We've gone through really tough times at that point in time. And, I remember days when I think for 3 years, nor Baman uncle, nor Chandesh bhai, nor Percy bhai have taken a day off. And including all of us. And we used to be in office every day. We used to be in office on the 31st of December, 1st of Jan, and consistently been there. We'd taken a large township in Virar at that point in time, and we were working to bring that out to the market and kind of starting and all of that. So it was a crazy time. But that was my actual learning of hard facts and my graduation from the University of Hard Knocks, because what I learned then and what I went through at that point in time with everybody, has actually built my base of being extremely strong in any type of business. Because if you are able to see a down cycle, and you are able to see a down cycle where every day you're being knocked down, every minute there's a blow coming towards you, and you're rebuilding yourself, your base of fundamentals is getting built every second. And it's getting built to the point where you're not just standing up after every hard blow, but you're standing stronger. And that's how I kind of, went through that and got into real estate, understood finance after going through. So I started in operations. I went to sites every day morning at 8. I sat in contractor meetings. I sat in design. I sat in construction costing. I sat on society development agreements and acquisitions. I sat on private equity. And I've climbed slabs being casted. I've actually had a nail go through my shoe, had blood in it, went to office, finished my day, got a tetanus, went back to site every day next morning. So I've actually, learned it ground up, and in a phase which was extremely tough. So I started in operations. Never imagined I would get into finance because I'm a marketing major. I used to dread math as a child, like dread it. Like, it used to be a day when my father used to sit and teach me because my mom gave up on me. So I went through that entire thing, and finally I got into finance because it's not about numbers. It's about relationships. It's about people. It's about your product. And it's about defining this chain in a numerical form that makes it a win-win for all.
Okay, now let's talk about the quantum. I was just gonna say this, that okay, you are a marketing major, then you went into ops, you became a real estate major, then you went into finance, and now probably tech, data centers, whatnot. But you have raised over 2.5 billion in your life, wherein I actually see, and I think you have also seen this, that it's very difficult to raise capital in the world today. So people are actually crying to raise even a crore to run their business, or to pull something off with bigger dreams. And you have raised in scenarios when the market was completely slashed, when nothing was moving. So what was going through your mind? You just mentioned that it is not just about raising capital, it's about understanding the relationships. So how do you go about it? Like, how do you build those relationships in the first place and sustain it so that you can actually raise the capital?
Wow. So when I started actually finance is when the GFC happened. We had a lot of partners who used to raise money, who said something to us, said something to someone else, and finally something else came on paper. And I am a very curious person, and I love reading my documents because I truly believe that people come and go, documentation survives lifetimes. And a lot of what happened in the JFC was because somewhere something was missed and the documents was not as per what we believed someone else would have written in it. And we were also very naive, I think, because we come from a DNA where if your intent is only being right, doing the right, and making a build product, making a great product and just consistently building it, you will only focus on that. And you will consistently only build on that. And we always loved what we do, and we still love what we do. We love our products, we love our buildings, we love everything, that we do and we kind of invest in. And that's all we did. We believed that people who work in organizing finances or financial institutions are as honest in terms of intent as we were at those points in times. Okay. And we thought that as long as we are building a great product, सामने वाला हमको संभालेगा. हम अपना अपना करेंगे, वो अपना अपना करेंगे, अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनेगा, बिकेगा, सबका पैसा जाएगा. But the true essence of your financier is how he acts in times of trouble. And because we went through that, we could see everyone change. And that taught us a lot. And that taught us how to get better with people, better with our paperwork, better with our negotiation, better with our terms and all of that. And it just added a little more clarity in keeping things simple, keeping things absolute like that. How I raised that money, honestly, I've never thought about it. Because at that moment, it was, when you're in war, you have to do what you have to do to survive.
It's an instinct, I believe.
I mean, you just have to do what you have to do to survive. So I went with everybody over there, I don't know, it just happened. But I'll tell you one thing, and I'll always thank State Bank of India for this, because I have learned banking, business, underwriting, risk, policy, regulation from them. I literally was trained in the entire finance circle by them, and I never thought it was their job. So I have literally sat with the base level analyst, made the proposal myself, like literally made the cash flow, CMA, wrote the proposal, found the reasons why they should give me money myself. And I've kind of wrote. And it was OP Bhatt Sahab actually that stood by us at that moment when things were bad, and literally stood by the group at Rustomjee and kind of, pulled things out. And that was actually our turning point. And that was where the strength of State Bank of India and the absolute clarity of thought of how one should look at banking and finance came and percolated down all the way to me. And I'm truly thankful, to everybody in that bank. And I always say this, that I have learned my banking in that office. People generally look at PSU banks and say, boss, ye log kaam nahi karte, kya hai unka ye? I'm telling you, these people work more than what you can imagine. They don't leave by 8, 9 every night. They come back at 8, 9 every morning. They stay far away from the city because they don't really get paid that much. So they're very far from where their place of work is. They are genuinely striving every day, and they are very intelligent. Like the systems, and see, if such a large institution is actually running that large a book, it means they have been able to build a system to underwrite so many industries. So many of them, okay? And underwrite them in terms of the fact that simplified the fundamentals and brought it on paper. Like if you look at any business, there are some fundamentals that you can't overlook. Simplifying them is the toughest, but they have done it. So if you are able to kind of understand how they look at things from their eyes, it's very easy for you to kind of put it up in a way in which next time on you're able to explain it to them. And that's what I learned. I have probably cold called, written emails to every banker in the country, I would just drop mails to chairmen of the banks and said that, hi, this is who we are. We would like to meet you. I would like to get my chairman to come and meet you and so on. And I've literally done that. And that's how I've kind of got my foot in the door with lots of people. And yeah, we've kind of done that way. And I think the one thing that really, really, really supported in this endeavor, and it comes first that, and then the rest of it, is the fact that as Rustomjee, we built a brand. As Rustomjee, we built the goodwill. And as Rustomjee, we built a product that people like. And your brand is always your product. And if you can complete a building when the world is abandoning buildings, you will get that someday. And we got that. And genuinely, I'm telling you, in 2008, we've made losses in a couple of assets, but we still completed it.
That's commendable. I mean,
because
that's goodwill.
That is your commitment. How can you undo your word? And if you cannot stand by your word when times change, then your word is worthless. And we stood by it. We stood by every asset that we had in our portfolio. We completed it. We finished it. People supported us. I think that momentum at that moment was to never look back. I think that helped a lot of this. And we kind of realized that working via media with people is not helping. You rather go yourself and talk to the banks. It just helps you understand their mindset. It helps you underwrite your product for them. And you're able to kind of make it. See, if you go with your stand and they come with their stand, you're never going to do business.
You have to find a midway. 100%.
And that's how it works. And then today, most of my friends are my bankers, and I never ever say that I'm doing business with, banks. I said I'm doing business with my friends. And I've been there for their good, bad. I probably would have been there more for their bad than their good, because I believe if you can stand by your friend when things are bad, that means you are a friend.
100%.
You don't need to be there when the entire world is singing and dancing. Yeah. But you have to be there when no one is there. So we've done that, and we're a truly relationship-driven, DNA, family, organization. And we're always there for people. And that's what we do.
So now with all this raising of capital, you mentioned how you have finished projects when there was none. You also started Mount K to make real estate investments or the Bombay redevelopment story more accessible to the common man. Any sort of investors, basically. So first things first, Mount K is a very unique name for a fund, and that too a real estate fund. Because when you hear Mount K, probably you'll be thinking of Mount Kailash and all those things. So where did you get this name?
Mount Kailash.
Mount Kailash itself. But don't you think it puts a pressure? Mount Kailash is like Mount Kailash.
I have been enamored by that mountain for decades. Like even today, this is my phone. This is my phone. This is on my laptop, my iPad, the works. Because of the fact that there is a pull. I don't know why. There's an energy. And I'm hoping someday he truly thinks I'm capable enough to come and see that mountain, because you will only get to go there if he wants you there.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. You can try until the entire thing, and it just happens when it happens. But I've been truly enamored by that mountain since forever. And not for any reason, but I think there is no place in the world which has the strength and the positivity of everything that it stands for. So if you look at that mountain, there are mountains all over the world. Where will you find a mountain where if you hold a compass, it keeps going round? It's actually zero gravity state. Where will you find a mountain which has the 4 largest rivers tributaries originating from it? Where will you find a mountain where at the site of it, you have 2 lakes at that altitude, one which is absolutely rough, one which is absolutely calm? Where will you find a mountain which has importance in 4 different religions? And it's still not summitable.
100%.
And the reason why Mount Kailash or Mount K is because we're in the business of homes. We're in the business of real estate. And whether you believe it or you don't, but Mount Kailash is the home of the creator.
Yeah. That's a
And
very nice thought, though.
what better way of kind of doing it? And there's one more thing which I truly believe is that this sector exists ever since mankind existed.
100%. कपड़ा मकान तो सबको चाहिए.
Because even if you look at tree homes, caves, they are homes. Today, everybody fought the entire, Ram Janmabhoomi to make a home for God. So it exists beyond mankind, it exists beyond existence, and it, as Steve Jobs said, that we are here to make a dent on the universe. This sector is actually leaving a dent in the universe. So this was my way of kind of, building that. And I'm always been someone who's, for me, it's not religion. And it's not that, आप हिंदू हो तो ये करो, आप ये हो तो ये करो, आप, whatever, For me, it's people, it's the feeling, and it is all of that. So I had dengue sometime last year or this year, I don't remember when. So I was just reading the Vishnu Puran because I was kind of curious. I have read the Bhagavad because I am curious. So they say the world has been created by the navel of Lord Vishnu, and Mount Kailash is the navel of this earth. So it just made sense. When I put this on my DP, I never knew so much about Mount Kailash. But when I built my fund and named it Mount K Capital, I kind of actually went back and read up on it. And that's where I realized and connected the dots and said that, this makes sense. And one more reason why. So when I registered my company, my dad, told me that whatever you do, it should come to a 79. I said, why? He said, no, just do it. I said, okay. Subsequently, I realized, and everything in my house is 79, 79 has always been in part of it. Subsequently, I realized that all the shivlings in the country are a 79 longitude. So all the Jyotirlings that you look at, they're all at a 79. Mount Kailash is 81. Okay. And when we were filing the trust for SEBI approval, when we were making our application to get our first funds approval, we wanted to do it on Shivratri because we're like, Mount Kailash, we'll do it on Shivratri and we'll go ahead. My PAN card got delayed by 3 days. I was like, chalo, kuch acha hi hoga, aage badhte hain. Never in my life have I seen a PAN card which says ABC, 1212, whatever. Our PAN card came, it came CLP at 7979A. So that just worked. So it's just continued then on. So that's why. And it's been good for us, I think.
So now, what was the reason behind launching a fund? See, usually when business houses, when things are going great, they would just want to continue being great. Because what I've learned is sometimes boring is good. If you're doing the same thing, it's working, you don't want to change too much or jinx it probably. So at that time, when you are actually at your peak, you're still growing, you're finding a new peak for yourself. You started a fund, let alone adding investors, not just institutional, but the normal investors, people who don't know anything about what you're doing.
Yeah.
They are just riding the bandwagon and they'll have so many more questions, which is going to make your life a little bit miserable with time. Of course, if you look at it, now it's already there. But when you think about it from an outer perspective, things are going great. We want to have one more tangent. Why?
I think I've always had that chul in my life. कि भैया कुछ चल रहा है तो मतलब और जाके मतलब कुछ अपनी बैंड बजा के आओ. So after I raised all my money and all, I'm going to deviate a bit, but I hope it's interesting for everyone. One fine day I saw IKEA put an ad in the newspaper saying that, we're opening a store in India. I was like, wow, this is so great. IKEA, such a great brand, and this, that. We were in the midst of taking over DB Crown and stuff like that, and I used to find it very interesting. I've done the entire cycle. I've done acquisition, I've done planning, everything, and I've done handover stuff. I've done the entire cycle, so I find it very interesting to kind of and I love what I do. So if you tell me to work 24 hours or 27 hours, I'll still, with all my vigor, continue doing it. So I saw IKEA in the newspaper. I was like, damn good. So I went to my uncle. I said, listen, IKEA's there. We should do fully furnished homes. It's a great thing. Imagine IKEA fully furnished homes. So he's like, देख, ये सब मेरे को नहीं समझता है. तेरे को समझता है जाके कर. I was like, chalo, challenge, let's get it done. I called up every number that IKEA had, and IKEA has a philosophy that they come with their entire ecosystem from Sweden. So the first few years, the entire organization was 90% Swedish. Then they kind of reduced and sent people back and so on and so forth. And when they started operations in India, they didn't really have a number that someone could call to their office and kind of do it. So I've spoken to every watchman of their ecosystem. Okay, I used to call. I used to call the Bangalore line, the Delhi line, the Hyderabad line, and all the numbers that I could find. IKEA, I was like, chalo, phone karo, get up. And I have this thing, like I told you, I wrote cold call emails to bank chairmen, to everyone. I've always been of that ecosystem ke bhai, if you want to talk to someone, pick up the phone and call. Kya hai, mana hi kar denge na. What is the worst thing?
नहीं उठाएगा और क्या?
क्या तो and I don't know if it's fearlessness or stupidity, but I never bothered about who the opposite person is. For me, the person is a person, yaar. You're a great person. That's why I'm also wanting to find out your greatness, and I'm okay to talk to whoever it is. I've never said कि भैया आप इतने बड़े आदमी हो तो हम आपसे बात नहीं कर सकते. So I've never had that concept in my brain, and I've never had a concept कि भैया you are a man, I'm a girl, I can't talk to you. I mean, you are also a human being. So I was okay. So I called him. I spoke to all the watchmen. All the watchmen bhaiyas knew, because I used to call them every day. I said, "Bhaiya, please number de do." Some of them used to speak in a language I also never understood. But I was like, "Chal, meko aur kisi se baat kara." Finally, a friend of mine, again, my developer friend of mine, who's also my Anna in Hyderabad, I called her. I said, "See, listen, Hyderabad is where they are opening. Udhar to office hoga. Please connect me. I want to do something." So he went and he connected with the IKEA team there. And cut to, I got IKEA finally to come to my office. And I'm like, yeah, how many watchmen do you have in the country? Have some people also. Why do I have only watchmen who answer calls? Spoke to them, told them my idea. In 66 years, because we did this in 2018, IKEA was 66. In 66 years of IKEA's existence, there was never a fully furnished IKEA home globally. No one had done it. So when I told them I want to do this, it was something new for them also. They didn't have they didn't have a process, they didn't have a team, they had nothing. So I sat with them, I explained to them. Then they went and appointed an agency from London to kind of research and give them a paper as to how this is to be done. And then they came back and they did it. We built the world's first fully furnished IKEA home. Till date, if you go in IKEA system and you type Rustomjee Global City, you will find a case study on how fully furnished homes have to be done in IKEA so that they can replicate that model everywhere. So the brand IKEA is owned by the family. The business is professionalized. The owner of the brand, someone from their office and the family came down to meet with us. And they were asking us, why should we give you your brand? So we asked them, why shouldn't you give us your brand? You are you, but no one has done this. We want to do it. We are the only organization which did a co-branded IKEA home where IKEA and us gave a joint press release. They spoke about it. They popularized it. They kind of worked with us. And this was the first ever IKEA home. We built the first ever IKEA show apartment in our property. And we did this, honestly, not for a luxury or a mid-segment, but for an affordable housing project in Virar. And we launched this with IKEA in 2018. So yeah, as I said, I'm a little crazy. I love to do crazy stuff. Why I started Mount K is, after that, we finally, after I did IKEA, I went and I started working with Keppel Land, which is a Temasek-owned company, to do a project in Mumbai. So we started working with them in 2018. Okay, like I'm just telling you my timeline. 18 this happened, then we started working. 2019 we signed up with Keppel to kind of invest in our project in Thane. And we were just about going to close up the paperwork. COVID happened. So that transaction went through its motions. Finally, October 2020, peak COVID, Keppel invested in us. And they invested in India's first ever equity platform. It's a pure play equity trade in residential between two developers who've come together to do residential real estate in the country. And that is what I kind of did. And once I did that, I was like, now I want to build a fund. Because if you are able to build a partnership with a developer from another part of the world, it means you are now ready to invest with other developers in the rest of the country. And Mount K was built not for being a captive fund for Rustomjee. It was built to be a platform to bring investors, developers, and asset monitoring together. Because it's very easy to put money with someone. It is very easy to pray to God every day कि वो पैसा देके जाएगा. But it is very tough to stand by your investment, work with the developer, make it better, see if you can give him better resources, better pricing. Like, imagine this. Today in Mumbai, because of the ecosystem that we have, we're able to get, say, a Jaguar at X price, a Serra at Y price, a Grohe at 1 price. Imagine getting that extended to your investee companies or to the developers that you're investing in. Imagine the value add that you can do by adding design betterment. Imagine how you can make this with another developer better, where you are able to grow him with the right mindset. It's not about just putting money. The world is there to put money. But I wanted to build a platform which makes it better for all. And I've always seen investors make money with developers. कि कुछ नहीं तो developer कुछ भी करके वो balance sheet से पैसा देगा. I used to, for the longest, wonder why investors have not made money on funds. And because I used to, manage money, and I've always dealt with money and policy. I saw policy change. I saw policy change when ILFS happened, which caused a lot of turmoil to NBFCs and to HFCs. I saw policy change in advance when it was changing, when banks got a restriction from RBI to kind of fund towards land, which happened in 2008. I saw policy change when approvals were being questioned. I could consistently see the mindset with our interactions with various people in the regulation that they want to change pools of capital. They want to have banks, because after ILFS happened and banks went bust and stuff like that, and banks this thing, I could see that people wanted to have, the regulator wanted different pools of capital. So he wanted to have banks with risk-free capital. He wanted the NBFCs, HFCs to be a little medium risk. And he wanted the sector-specific funds or private equity to kind of take the maximum risk. So I could see this change happening over there. And I was like, and obviously I saw a lot of funds also kind of go up and terminals and all that stuff. And I saw lots of things happen, because when you're on the market to kind of raise money, and we've never raised money from funds. maybe super. There have been a couple of private equity partners that we had taken across the year, but that's it. But we've not really gone to fund NBFCs and raised expensive money. It's not in us. So I could see how they were giving structures which never would work. It's like this, right? A kid in a candy store and tell him कि भैया ये खाना नहीं है, तुमको diabetes होएगा. वो होने नहीं वाला है. So this entire mind frame where the world blamed developers for taking financial institutions for a ride, when someone who really didn't know how to underwrite an asset was giving like too much money to a developer.
He was overwriting actually.
So how are you blaming one person in the supply chain? Chal, I agree. But someone should have been more responsible with someone else's money, right? How could you kind of do that and sleep in peace?
That's an art. Probably.
Like, it's not your money.
Yeah.
Okay? It's someone else's money. You take it. You invest it. You don't monitor it. And then you underwrite something which is never going to be delivered. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I can at least see this is not. I'm saying no one is perfect, but there's some fundamentals, right? You can't mess with someone else's money. It's someone's hard-earned money. So I used to find it very tough. And I was like, I want to build a platform. And I will tell you this, that we did this when we went for the IPO. So it was not with the intent of building this as a as a platform for Rustomjee, because we went IPO in the same time. We did everything in parallel, and we were very transparent about this. We were very committed in building a platform for the industry, because we were like, yaar, and we truly believe, okay, कि अगर इंडस्ट्री का भला होगा तो कोई दिन तुम्हारा भला होगा.
Obviously.
Market size increases, you also will grow. But if you are going to try and curtail market size, neither you will grow nor the industry will grow. So we were always clear, okay, we will do this for the industry. And I'm seriously telling you, lots of people keep asking, why will another developer take money from you? I'm asking you, why not? Which developer is going to get the ability to learn from an ecosystem which is an established ecosystem for 3 decades? You are getting to learn the Mumbai way. I'm sure the biggest of the biggest guys are happy to kind of exchange notes and get better in life. And the structure that we've done for our second fund also, our first fund structure also was extremely transparent, and it was a win-win. No one was making more money than the other. And the way we are going to do our second fund also is going to be in a way in which is very transparent, it's very clear, and it's a product which doesn't exist. And I don't think that working with another developer is competition. I think it is bringing the best skills together.
That's the main thing, right? When you can collaborate and build something better.
It brings the best skills together. It brings synergies, okay? Talking to a person who comes from a financial acumen versus someone who comes from a developer acumen.
It's completely different.
It's like, I have seen for eternity. Developers come with proposals के भैया देख बैंकर को यही चलेगा तो हम यही लिख के देंगे. I'm like, but आप कर नहीं पाओगे. He's like, वो सामने वाला समझता नहीं है.
It's like the startup ecosystem. You see those charts that right now you're not earning anything. As soon as you receive money, you're going to spend that money, but ultimately you're earning everything.
वो सब तो मतलब, see, startups to me, unless they don't understand it is bottom line and not valuation, they are going to live off somebody else's money and enjoy themselves. One fine day, the guy who's invested with them will understand कि भैया
और नहीं
कर ही नहीं सकते. You are going to consistently put good money or bad money until they don't IPO. So you have to, for me, that ecosystem, okay, today is literally like what real estate used to be. A kid in a candy store that who's told not to eat sugar.
I agree. Got it.
So that's why Mount K is built. It's been a great run, touch wood. I think God's been kind, and our intent is always to do the right. We all come from a mindset कि भैया at the end you're going to eat your दाल चावल and go to sleep. आपका बेड का साइज भी उतना ही होने वाला है. आप मतलब 3 कमरों का बेड नहीं बना के सो सकते हो.
कमरा कितना भी बड़ा बना लो.
मतलब you are going to sleep only in that much space. उतना ही चादर है, उतना ही इतना ही बेड है, उतना ही चादर है, उतना ही दाल चावल है. तो if your needs are only going to be so much, बाकी क्या करके करना है? So we are absolutely clear. This is not being built के हमको पैसा बनाना है. It is being built के industry will grow, and that's all we are doing.
Got that. So now you did not stop there. With all this, I would call it the zeal to do things differently or to produce things differently. Like you went hands-on with all these bankers. You just called dozens or maybe hundreds of watchmen of IKEA Pan India.
That was fun,
huh? I can imagine. And then you took Mount K by trying to help people and make it transparent. You did not stop there. You started Spire Prop.
Yeah.
And now you're getting into tech. You talked about it.
We're building automation of asset monitoring. Yeah.
Automation. So that's another venture. And then you're also going into data centers. Yeah. So there are 3 more things that 1 you did, 2 you are in the process of finishing.
Yeah.
So इतना zeal कहाँ से? Like पहले तो दिन में ऐसे ही time नहीं था. We are raising money. We are also looking at all. We are trying to do different things. We are coming up with ideas of IKEA fully furnished houses. Okay, then we went into, okay, we want to make it more accessible. We started Mount K. Ab to matlab, if you look at from the outside, it's enough. As you mentioned that, matlab, you need to have certain bandwidth to go beyond. So what goes through your head in a day? कि यार, okay, 2 साल हो गया, ये अच्छा चल रहा है, अब क्या? So is it like I read that in a book that Richard Branson, he was sipping some cola or something in a beach He saw a bird fly and he's like, okay, I'm gonna launch a airline.
नहीं वो सब पागलपन है, वो
So-
पैसे बर्बाद होते हैं. I think I am very conservative.
So how do you get these ideas?
For me, money needs to make money. नहीं तो फिर
Okay.
I will not sleep in peace. See, I don't know how I get my ideas, but I can tell you this: I am blessed to have the family that I have. I have lived my life on my terms, and everyone thinks Mount K was very easy. While Mount K was going on, I lost my father. Okay. I lost him to a 2-month hospital battle, and then I lost 6 people in the same year. Okay. And in the middle of all that, I was doing my fundraise, doing this, doing that. And my family has supported me in the fact that being a girl, I have never been pressurized to settle down. Even today, I live my life single with myself, with my, my mom's with me and all of that. So I have all that freedom. And I have it to the extent where their support to me is the reason why I am who I am. Whether it is Baman uncle, Chandesh bhai, the full family, everyone at Rustomjee and at Mount K, including my mom and my dad, as long as he was there. I've never had the pressure of being a particular way. I've never had the pressure of, you're a girl, so you only need to know how to cook. Your job is to have kids and, have a family, and you're supposed to manage everybody. I've never had that pressure. I have never been brought up with the mindset that you are less than anybody else in the room. And I have been as, for the use of a better word, honest in my sayings to people, because, and they have allowed me to be that. Like, I'll give you a very stupid story of my life, but my parents have probably told this to everyone. There's a very famous school called Bombay Scottish, where Amitabh Bachchan's kids kind of studied. It used to be the Ambani school at that point in time in life. So now how you have Dhirubhai Ambani, that time Bombay Scottish was the Ambani. So all your star kids used to kind of be there. So when I was a child and they had to put me in school, I obviously went and gave my interview in that school. So there was a very scary, it was a convent school, so there was a very scary father called Father David. And he used to be known to kind of make all the latecomers kneel and, hit them and stuff like that, all that stuff. So I went for my interview. He wanted to ask me questions. And I said, I'm not answering a single question of yours. I don't like you. You are scary. I am not answering your question. Okay? My parents were like, what is going to happen to our child? How can she say this? I was like 3 or 4 years old. I said, I am not answering any of your questions. You can do what you want. Then he used to have this thing, he had chocolates in his drawer. So I said, I want those chocolates. He said, I'll give you the chocolates, will you answer my questions? I said, no, I will not answer your questions, but you will give me the chocolates. So he gave me the chocolates. He gave me the admission also. He gave me the admission also, okay? But then, my parents didn't choose to put me there because they found the school far and whatever that stuff. So I didn't go to that school. But for the life of mine, whenever they had want to embarrass me, they would tell the entire world that our kid put us in this shameful situation. So I believe every family gathering, this has been a story I have heard. Okay, I stood up to that scary father and said, I'm not answering your questions because I don't like your face. I, quote unquote, have told this to him. So I never was pressurized to act in a particular way. And I think that's where I have this freedom to think and do things differently. And I'm someone who's very passionate about what I do, to the extent I believe that if you are not putting your honesty and your integrity on the table, तो कुछ मत करो. घर जाओ, सो जाओ, laze around, be happy. But if you cannot put your 100% to something, don't do it. उसमें क्या होता है ना कि you don't build a great product. You don't enjoy what you're doing. So the day I don't enjoy what I do na, then I will find that zone of bus karo. But honestly, okay, I never look at anything that I do and I believe it's an achievement.
It's just fun. I think it's just...
I don't even think it's fun. I think it is something that I wanted to build. I have done it and I will grow it. I have never looked back on anything that I have done, or looked at it with the arrogance that, boss, I'm something. I don't believe in that. I believe you are all here because there's a high power wanting you to be here. कुछ तो अच्छा कर्म किया होगा that you've got this life. Live it with your honesty, and live it in doing good. As long as you're doing good, the world will stand by you. If the day you have 1% bad intent, even to your friends and family, the reverse will happen to you. So I have always been like that. So I'm telling you now, I can talk to you about things which I have done because I believe it's a great thing to do. For me, it's not like, boss, that's my peak, that's my achievement. मेरे को ये करना है because I want to achieve this, I want to be a particular way. I have never had that, and I'll never have that.
So you were just talking about Credai, and of what I know, that you have built a life in Credai itself, and you have become kind of an inspiration to women. Because if I'm right, the first meeting of Credai that you entered, probably you would be the only woman there. And back in the day, as I mentioned, no women wanted to be in real estate. And Credai is run by real estate guys at all times. So now entering a room where there is no women. So first of all, fighting the adversity, and you have done fabulously on that. Second, becoming an inspiration because you did something that not everyone can do. So that must have put a little bit of pressure on you. Third, where there was adversity, you somehow converted that into relationships, friendships, and nurtured it to grow. How did you pull off all of these and Credai all together?
I never ever thought that when I was entering a room that I'm a girl, they are men. I've heard the engineering college jokes a lot. You get that feeling also. But I'll tell you this. A lot of how you are treated in a room is how you want to portray yourself in a room as well, and how you want to enter a room and be fearless. If you want to rule a jungle, you have to be the lioness over there. You have to be the fearless person over there. If you go and enter a room with fear, boss, I'm a girl, they are men, how will someone talk to me? How will this one treat me? If you want to be treated equal, go with that strength. If you want to be treated at par, bring value to the table. If you are going to go and not have content or value to talk to someone, or come with the mindset that you're only supposed to be X or X minus, you're not going to be you can't be there and treated as equal. If you want to sit on a table and you want a chair on the table without it being given to you because you are someone's child or someone's wife or some relative, you need to earn it. And you need to earn it without the fear of wanting it. And I never thought that it's not mine to begin with. Okay?
I belong here kind of thing.
मतलब क्या है? कौन क्या उखाड़ के जाने वाला है तुम्हारा? तुम काम कर रहे हो, वो काम कर रहे हैं. There's nothing. There are people at the end of
हाँ
the
भाई
day.
नहीं अच्छा लग रहा, थोड़ा दूर बैठ जा.
हाँ मतलब क्या है? तुम जाओ ना, मैं तो इधर ही बैठने वाली हूँ. What is? You're not like in any way to say it right. You're not there to take someone's limelight. You're not there to take someone's place. You're there to create your own. And if you don't have the guts to create your own, you're never going to get there. So I went there for the life of me. I remember. It used to be me and probably someone else and about 1,000 men in the room. I've always participated in the forefront at Credai, whether it is national or at Credai MCH. I've always been in the managing committee, always been in committees at national, always worked to organize conferences. I have been organizing conferences since 2011 and international conferences. And because I had very strong relationships with bankers, so a lot of these developers wanted me to be there also because I was in a way a bridge to bring the bankers on board. In a way a bridge to work towards kind of, supporting the event by sponsorship, organizing and so on and so forth. Because I went with that value, I got a chair easily.
You got a ticket in the room basically.
They wanted me in the room. And also, I was not someone who was using my space to get things done. मेरे को किसी से कुछ नहीं चाहिए था. I wanted to do something great for the industry and I was there to support wholeheartedly. But they also respected me for the work I have done, which is commendable.
And that's not something you see very easily.
I never see it. So I'm genuinely thankful. I'm telling you, I got mentored by the best in the industry way early in my life, and I'm genuinely thankful to everyone. For me, Credai is not like it's not a network, it's not something, it is my family. And the true power of this family is that the best of my friends, okay, are my friends from across the country. I have friends in Bombay, I have friends from across the country, my closest of the closest. Like, I can trust my life with them. They have seen me in my good, my bad, my ugly, you know. In my best of the best times, they are there. In my toughest of the toughest times, they are there. And they fly from across the country to come for me, which is commendable. And that is not because of the fact that you force someone to do it. It's because they do it. So we do 2 trips, okay, as a very private group. In this thing, we do 1 international and 1 domestic. We're very, very, like, this is our annual thing that we do. And come rain, come sunshine, come anything, this is non-negotiable as a part of our life. You know, so that's the kind of closeness that I've built with my friends over there. And I owe everything that I know, okay, in real estate to Credai as well. Because it's not about an association or you're part of it. But when you are in your business 24/7, you need people who understand your challenges. When things go wrong in your business, only someone from the industry can stand with you and solve that, because he understands your business. आप किसी बाहर वाले को लेके आओगे to try and explain your problems, they will understand it. It's not that.
But only to a certain extent, yeah.
To a certain extent. But अगर आपको कुछ चाहिए real estate में, आप कोई developer को ही phone करोगे ना कि ये आपको ऐसे करके, मतलब इधर ये अटक रहा है. Do you know this person? Can you help me close it? So that is the kind of, bond that we have. We have it to the extent that genuinely we also work with each other. And it's by choice. It's not by competition. And the one thing that I think has worked beautiful in this entire ecosystem is that when COVID hit and you didn't have people on ground, okay, and your employees were all over the country, people were in despair and you were trying to run things. So one more crazy thing I did in COVID is because I started a volunteer network with a couple of friends of mine and we provided aid across the country. The true power of Credai came out at that time. We were kind of helping people to get medication across the country. We were trying to get people beds across the country. I have transported oxygen cylinders, trying, to get things moving. The developer fraternity really got together and they built. See, we had sites, we had kind of, hangars and stuff like that. So we built out hospitals to support aid and, beds at that point in time and so on and so forth. I have helped, I don't really want to take credit for it ever in my life, but I have leaned on my Credai network to get people the right resources. And they have stood there. I have personally gone and delivered medication to hospitals to people because as developers, we had that pass to travel around. किसी और के पास था नहीं. And people were in higher despair at that point in time.
That was crazy. It was completely nuts. Yeah.
But it all worked. And that was the power of Credai. That was the power of not just Credai, but that was a power of a community in the most remote parts of the country. So literally, I'm telling you, Rajkot
is not remote though.
Rajkot se aage, okay? From Rajkot, there's a small village 2 hours away. Gondal, okay? I have helped people in Gondal. I don't want to ever say I've helped, but I have got resources gone to Gondal. I'm no one to help anyone, okay? You all help people because you are given a role to do it. It's not about you. But I'm saying that I was able to get that through.
Yeah, got it.
The funny part, I had this crazy chill. So there was someone who wanted that time Remdesivir and Tocilumab was like the biggest thing that you could do. So there was some person, and I got it because I have some friends in the pharma industry, and people were doing lootmar, yaar. They were selling
Yeah,
remdesivir for
mask,
40.
3 rupees mask was going on for like 3,000 rupees at one point
No,
of
people
time.
are doing lootmar. I'm telling you. And I was like, yaar, don't do this. So I had friends, so I was helping people get the right, remdesivir. Apparently, some cop got the medicine that I sent. I did not know. One fine day, I get a call saying that, this is me. And, आपने इनको दिया था, उन्होंने मुझे दिया, thank you, आपने मुझे help किया. I said, भैया मैं कोई नहीं हूँ किसी का help करने को. आप ठीक हो, आप healthy रहो.
That's all that matters, yeah.
I'm not this thing. Like, आपको जिंदगी में कभी कुछ चाहिए, मैं आपके लिए खड़ा रहूंगा. I said, मैं प्रार्थना करती हूँ कि मुझे कभी आपकी जरूरत नहीं हो. And मैं प्रार्थना करती हूँ कि आप हमेशा आपको कुछ चाहिए, मैं हूँ, प्लीज मेरे को आपकी जरूरत नहीं पड़नी चाहिए. But I really didn't know who was the person on the other side of the phone. And that was the power of Credai. And I till date thank everyone that I know in Credai, because it's not, and we don't talk to each other because you are this brand, I'm that brand. We talk to each other because
as
we
equals,
understand it, our industry. We understand कि आप दिन में क्या करते रहते हो, आपको कितने contractors परेशान करते हैं, क्या कुछ होता है. I mean, it's the same.
I think it's easier to build empathy there. मतलब एक दूसरे की pain, problem और अच्छी बातें तीनों समझ में आती है.
And then the thing is, when you then travel with each other, and you see, you can consistently make friends, but if you don't have a common ground of conversation, after a point things fizzle out.
Obviously.
कितनी बार मतलब how many times can you just have wine and cheese and laugh about it if you really can't talk with them for your real problems? So that's how it kind of is built, and it's been a very strong friendship. Like I'm telling you, my closest of the closest buddies are from the industry, and I have met them in conferences.
Now, how do you get time to nurture all this? See, I have had a first-hand view of how busy your schedule can get.
That was not nice.
No, but I can, even anybody listening to this podcast can also make out the kind of schedule that you may have.
Yeah.
Now, with that kind of schedule, building relationships is something. See, you need something, probably you want to go to a banker, you want to build a relationship with need, wants, or whatever. Relationships can be built. The tricky part is always sustaining that particular relationship. To keep it going after years, maybe 10 years, 20 years, as you mentioned that you met somebody in the conference.
Yeah.
So probably an acquaintance that turned to friendship, that turned to some sort of collaboration.
Yeah.
But now you say that you are the bestest of the friends.
Yeah.
So nurturing that and making sure that that relationship stays intact and at the same time grows with time. Where do you find time for that, or how do you do that? Because it is time consuming. That should not be the first thing in your mind.
So you know what? Technology has helped. As much as we may hate tech as much, but the dumbest of the dumbest things, like if you're sending reels to your friend or sending messages on your group, you create common groups. You may not pick up the phone and talk to someone on a
but you're still aware.
You still are doing masti on the or trying to take someone's case, you're trying to tell them. And then when you have the time, see, anyways, if you are from the same industry, you have enough ways. Either you will bump into them in the corporation or in the lawyer's office or in some common parties. So usme to mil hi jate hain. But the great thing is that for us, it is non-negotiable to travel together.
And when you travel, you definitely talk a lot. Yeah.
And you anyways love to take, I have this thing that I love to take my friends' cases. For me, it is fun. Even for 2 minutes, if I have to call and just laugh on the phone with someone because I have a joke that I find it funny and I have to tell them, that is my 2 minutes of break.
Of course, and that relaxes you completely, yeah?
Yeah, and it is fun. Like, it may be the most dumbest thing, but I will call up, so my very close friend is Dhaval Ajmera. Okay. It will be the most dumbest thing on this earth, but I will call him off, once in 2 weeks, just to laugh on the phone by saying something really stupid. Okay? But I'll do it. And I do such dumb things. My brother is from Nasik. He's my Rakhi brother. I'm the only child, so I have 4 Rakhi brothers. One from Nasik, one from Delhi, one from Bombay, 2 from Bombay. So I find it extremely funny to call them up and harass them. Okay, extremely fun. Okay, so my brother is from Nasik. So I named him Prince of Nasik. Okay, and he's really the Prince of Nasik. Like, for me, he is the Prince of Nasik. And apparently, there is a prince in the far off some other district of Nasik, and he's his friend. So he keeps saying, I'm the prince. I said, you're a fake person. Please don't call yourself this. This is my brother's name. So that's how I keep it going. And it's easy. And when you are running so many crazy things in a day, you need this 2 minutes of stress
You need
buster.
more than that. 2 minutes into 4.
I remove my 2 minutes now by doing all this time pass with them. And it is fun. Like, at the end of the day, there are these moments of calling up and laughing at each other that make it easy for everybody in the bargain. So, yeah.
See, all of this growth, all of this businesses, all of this stature, it always comes with a weight. Some people may not like it. Some people will talk smack about it. As you also are a part of an organization, there will always be some people trying to pull you down. And at the end of the day, we are all humans. कभी कभी कोई बात लग जाती है. Obviously, yeah, you might tune it down right now, but there might have been 1 or 2 instances, at least in the past year or so. But in those situations, it is very important to get back up, forget about it, and move on. Reflecting on it, you will definitely find 1 or 2 things, and I don't mean to get you there right now.
No. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, but the idea is that in such situations, when you're so focused on gunning forward, and something just pinched you, which might just derail your ride, maybe for a day, even if it's for a day, how do you make sure to get back on the bandwagon and keep yourself straight and sane? And see, it's a saying, the higher you are, the harder your fall will be. So what happens is when they derail you, it's really affecting because your mind is at a different level altogether.
See, it depends on why you're doing things. First and for all, I've never done something because someone wants me to do it. I want to do something because I want to do it.
हाँ तो आधा मैटर तो ऐसे ही खत्म हो गया भाई. It doesn't matter what your opinion is.
जो बोल रहे बोलो. तुमको लगता है मैं गधी, तुमको लगता है मैं फेलियर चलेगा, but मेरे को करना है. Unless I don't get it done, my mind is never at ease. My focus वो जो so if you remember the Mahabharata, and मेरे को ना हर संडे सुबह पूरे नींद में my father used to wake me up, वो दूरदर्शन चलता था and मेरे को महाभारत का वो पूरा पे सुनाते थे. 1 hour of that slow life. So I have seen the Mahabharata every Sunday of my life for the longest. Okay, so in Mahabharata, and I think that's also my foundation because I love the Bhagavad. I think it's the most, if you are entering life, and you should give it to your kids whenever you feel they are mature enough to enter life, to read, because that is your foundation for everything that can come your way. Because no better way of learning than seeing a family fight and trying to figure out what is right or wrong. That concept of right and wrong comes from a base which is rooted in the learnings by the Lord. So there's no better MBA book, this, that, strategy, negotiation, M&A. There is no better book than that. Baki sab kachra hai.
No, you're the 4th person who's telling me that exact same thing.
But baki sab kachra hai.
That's what, exact same thing.
Hai.
So I have been told this, that if you could somehow understand the crux of the Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't matter what your education is, you can still lead a very peaceful life.
It is very important, especially for family businesses, because you need to be able to disconnect emotion from moments. So this thing that you said, right? People want to put you down. When I went to Rustomjee, I obviously knew them since I was a child. I have seen the automobile side of the business. I have seen all sides of business. But the minute I enter that door, I see myself as a person. No matter how much you will achieve in your life, okay, there will be one person who will stand up and tell you कि हाँ, ये इनके वजह से या इधर से या इससे this position is hers because she is this person. that should never matter to you.
You should be your own boss, kind
The
of, in
minute,
your mind.
no, it should never matter to you that the world, okay, I do what I do for myself. If the world thinks I'm doing this because I am known to them, or I am this person's child, or I'm this person's wife, or I come with privilege, that is their opinion. जो मैंने लिया नहीं, उसका मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Okay? And I have always been like that, because even if you enter the business and you work yourself ground up, and I'm telling you, when I joined, I had an HR interview. I went through the entire rigmarole. I joined at a probably stipend. I did everything by the book. But still, someone will always feel I have got all my success
because of that.
Because I was given this. All the hard work of getting scratched by a salia, nail going into your leg, and doing all of that, sitting till 12, 1
And probably
o'clock.
that's a story. That will be the story.
Oh, they're like, ये तो सब झूठ है. ये तो actually यहाँ पे है for this reason. And even today it happens. It will happen till the last day of my life. Because the person who is saying this because they don't have the maturity to appreciate hard work, and they want to try and put a different color to your hard work. तो ऐसा है ना, सफेद के ऊपर रंग चढ़ेगा जगह आप रंग लगाओगे और लगने देंगे,
और काले के ऊपर कुछ होना नहीं है. बीरस.
मेरे को, and I have always been of that mindset. I have been of that mindset when I have approached anything in my life. अगर सामने वाले ने मुझे बोला, मुझे लगा नहीं, तो मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? And it is, honestly, it's not that it never affected me. There have been times and situations where I have probably, brought down the roof because something was said and all, and I have not liked it. And it has affected me. I'm not perfect. But then you mature to a point where you realize it, that boss, the minute you enter this door, okay, and you are at work, your focus is work. Your focus is what you want to do and your end goal.
And how do you go about it?
And the world will throw crap on you.
100%.
But your focus has to be how Arjun's focus was on that fish's eye. क्योंकि उसको वो बांध वहां पे पहुंचानी थी. तभी वो पूरे सम्मेलन में जितने लोगों ने चिल्लाया, बोला, उसको कचरा बोला, tried to bring him down, it was not the focus. The noise is never your focus when you are in your seat. And it's never your focus when you want to do something. And trust me, it's not that I have not had a situation where when I have wanted to get something done, it was refused. I have heard no time and again for everything that I have wanted.
More than the yeses, I believe.
I have had bankers not want to talk to me because I'm a woman. And even though my junior most employee is sitting there, they'll give them respect. I have had that banker changed. So it's not that I have not gone through a treatment. I have gone through this treatment across the border. I have gone through this treatment where people have not liked my proximity to, to a couple of things, and and I've gone through politics threadbare. But you only get affected by it if you play it. I choose to do my work. And that is where I find my peace. So I just don't bother about any noise that comes around it. Maybe that's how I'm able to survive also.
Correct. So, Binitha, we have had a long conversation. I think a very long conversation. And I think towards the end, we were going too deep into it.
Yeah.
So to make sure that people can actually grasp whatever we have done, let's lighten the mood a bit.
Sure.
And I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions, which
Done.
my team here has prepared very well.
Done.
And these are supposedly to be answered within a sentence.
Very nice.
Let's not go overboard. And
marketing one-liners.
Marketing one-liners, probably. So quick answers. Legacy or disruption? What do you think?
Both.
First big I have made it moment in your life.
Never feel it.
Oh, come on.
Never feel it. I'm telling you, for me.
Acha, theek hai. Right below that.
Okay, I tell you the only moment where I was like the most proud of doing my loan, okay, is because we had one of our bankers in 2008. which had made our life miserable. And the team was also unmentionable. And my last loan from that banker, and I kid you not, was being paid down on 31st December. I signed the paper at midnight to transfer the money. Went home, slept. That was my moment. Okay, boss, I have made it, because the amount of pain that banker had made for us and that team with the most unethical behavior had done to us. That night when I did this and when I got that security release, one of it was extremely personal to us. That was my moment, and I had told them that this is it. We're never going to work with you ever. Okay, so that is my moment. I think that is my
aha moment, kind of.
aha. If I look at all my achievements, for me, that is the first.
So one misconception people have about real estate.
That developers are terrorists.
How much do you actually sleep?
I need 8 hours of sleep.
You sleep 8 hours?
I am at least 7 hours. If I haven't had my sleep, I am grumpy as fuck. I love my sleep.
Do you also do like power naps in the office or something?
No. I can't sleep in the day.
Craziest deal you have closed under pressure?
Craziest deal. Still to get there.
Okay. One habit that keeps you unstoppable?
My workouts. I work out every day.
You work out morning, evening, night?
Morning. I love to work out.
Are you a morning person?
I'm not a morning person. But I hate
workout ke liye.
But I get up in the morning, get my workout done, because the thing is, that's the only time of the day that I have. And then the rest of the day is at peace.
If not real estate and all these funds or whatever you're doing right now, then what?
Education.
You have already
Education is not real estate. I just made I still believe education. But now, you know what? I love cooking. Contrary to people thinking that I just work, I don't do anything at home. I love cooking. I love food. I'm a foodie. I truly believe the one thing that you take the day you die is the last meal you've had.
Yeah,
क्योंकि लोग कपड़े उतार देते हैं, ज्वेलरी उतार देते हैं, सब निकाल देते हैं, but जो आपने खाना खाया वो आपके साथ जलता है. Okay, so I am a foodie and I love food. My one thing I want to do is eventually make a restaurant in the mountains and make food that I cook, and I make really nice food. So I want to do that.
One word your team would use to describe you?
Danger.
Okay. What's next for you and everything that you are doing?
Next for me, I'm doing a lot of things. I think I'm very excited about my fund. I'm very excited for my data center platform. And I'm very excited about working with developers across the country.
Right.
I'm very excited to learn. For me, every morning, as long as I'm learning, is the best day of the world. It's the best day of my life. And I love to learn. So I'm very, very excited about that. That for me is good. We're opening offices across the country. I'm finally going to get to work with my friends. So I'm very excited about that.
Thank you so much, Binitha, for all this.
My pleasure. Thank you for this
detailed and intellectual conversation.
I hope it was not boring for people.
No. I think the one thing that I would take away is that if you love what you do, you can do it for 24 hours. And if you don't love what you do, you should better find something that you love and start doing that. And that gives you that clarity, that precision, and that zeal to keep on building, keeping in mind everything life throws at you.
I agree.
So I think that's one key takeaway, apart from everything that you have talked about, from beating adversity, feeling down, getting up. I think this is the one thing that sticks out the most, that it doesn't matter. If you want it, you got to go and make it happen.
Yeah.
And if you love doing it, there is no stopping.
I agree.
So thank you so much for sharing this.
My pleasure.
I believe you also had fun in the conversation.
I love it.
And thank you guys for listening in. Stay tuned for more.